Pieyre-Alexandre, I can say former head of my office. He was the person that I started with nearly 4 years ago. The young persons you can still see that's been already for one mandate here in the parliament, working as head of office with one of my French colleagues. Then he came with a sad news more than a year and a half ago, saying that he would like to run in the French elections for March, and surprise, surprise, he succeeded. He's a French MP now, and my first question is to be, in a nutshell, a comparison, European Parliament, French National Assembly, what's the major difference?
Well, the major difference is the European dimension. The French Parliament is a national parliament, and by definition we discuss about national issues. And so there is a lack of a European dimension. And so I'm trying to bring a bit of a European dimension in all the policies and all the debates that we have on migration, on terrorism, on business, on environment, on trade, because you don't have any national answers to all these topics, you have only European answers today. And so I think it's very useful to pass by the European Parliament and then to go to a national parliament, because you can bring this European dimension.
Would you say that you're succeeding, that more and more of your colleagues in the French Parliament start to reflect it, or is it, are they really very national focused?
I will say that it will be a long time job to make the mentalities and the political culture evolving in the country, but I believe very much in repetition and keep repeating all the time the same things, and it works in the end. So we will need one mandate, we will need 2 mandates to reform the country, to develop the European political culture in the country, but it's working progressively.
It's interesting what you say, because you say to reform the country. I haven't heard too many French politicians, not just French, but for sure also French politicians to say to reform the country. And that brings me to Macron. I have to ask about Macron. What kind of guy is he here?
Well, he's the French president, so obviously he's not...
That we noticed, but let's be now a bit informal.
Obviously he's not the random person that you will meet in the street anymore, but if you will have a face-to-face discussion with him, you could have a normal chat on policies, on the daily life. He's someone who is enjoying as well things besides politics. I would say he's someone from our time. He's a young man, 40 years old. From this century, who understand the world how it functions today. Is not a man of the past century. He's the man of this century.
That's interesting. 2 weeks ago, he was in the plenary where he spoke, delivered a speech on his perception of the future of Europe, and I think that he confirmed exactly what you are saying. How, if we say that the French politicians not necessarily have the mindset set on European politics, what about President Macron?
Well, most of the French politicians in France, they only focus about the national dimension. The strength of Macron, the strength of the movement I represent, is to integrate the European dimension within the national dimension. And so Macron, he puts at the top of his agenda the European question, because there are no, as I said earlier, there are no answers to the national difficulties without a European dimension. And so Macron, he put this European question at the top of his agenda.
Sounds good. I think we could use a few Macrons in the Czech Republic, and which brings me to the Czech Republic. Do you see a potential for a sort of a march in the Czech Republic? Because you are knowledgeable about the Czech Republic, about Czech politics. Pieyre is someone that really doesn't do a lot of work just in France and here in Brussels, which is also his constituency, but he visited on a number of occasions Central and Eastern Europe, which shows a French focus on Central and Eastern Europe. So he has knowledge of the Czech Republic, worked with me, I must say, even a very good sense of humor, which is close to the Czech sense of humor. So would you see a potential for a march in the Czech Republic, sort of?
Yeah, of course. I believe that the Czech Republic is much more complex than what we can say sometime in France or in Germany, that you have a strong civic society, that you have intellectuals, scientists, researchers, businessmen with a strong capabilities to reform this country. And I believe that you have forces everywhere in the country that could join together to build, develop a new movement, maybe something different from the traditional political movement which have been there for decades in your country, or some movements which are maybe younger but that maybe are not always able to respond to the current challenges, and that I believe that you are able to, that the Czech Republic will be able to gather some people coming from all sides of the society, some from the political spectrum, some from the civil society, to create something new with a European agenda, because, as I said, most of the reform and most of the answers are European today.
Let's take this as a good intellectual provocation, inspiration, and let's reflect back home in Czechia. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Pavel. It was a pleasure.
My pleasure.